If you have never heard about this amazing tool, God Box, you're in the perfect place to learn all about the God Box. And if you still don't own one, maybe you can even make your own today. I first heard about the God Box almost 16 years ago at a 12-step meeting. Members shared that whenever they faced challenging problems and felt lost, needed answers when they were overwhelmed or unsure how to proceed, they wrote notes to God about the issue that was bothering them at the time. Afterwards, they felt relieved and often saw the problem resolved quickly. I was curious to try it myself, feeling overwhelmed by my own mental and emotional struggles at the time that were keeping me stuck and feeling messy, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like anxious most of the time. So when they explained that any box could serve as the God box, I rushed home after the meeting to find one. I just took the simple box with the lid since I didn't want others to see my handwriting notes. You can use any box. I wrote on whatever paper I could find, starting all of the notes with Dear God, please help me. I wrote down my worries, anxieties, concerns, and problems. And then I folded the papers, like you can see here. Today I don't fold them because I trust that no one is looking at them. But I used to fold the paper and tuck them in my box. Years later, I started adding dates on the notes when I wrote them. When I read them over, I realized that whatever concern I had at the time was already solved. So I really believe God took over. How great is it to let go of worries and things that bother us instead of constantly repeating patterns and living in a cycle that can drive us crazy? Think about that. Now, I turn everything over with faith to God. As a spiritual person who always seeks God, it was easy for me to write requests to God. Every time I needed help figuring out how to proceed, it was as if I had my own personal guide. One thing I want to point out is that I do remember feeling instant relief, and I think that's one of the main points that I love about the God bikes. Right away, I began sharing the idea with my family, my daughters, friends, and those I was mentoring because using the God box is like a shortcut to finding your inner peace. And it never fails to work. Yet, if you have a limiting belief that God is busy and your requests are boring or not important enough, remember that God loves you. God is limitless with love and compassion, and it's always there for you. So you just need to ask, and the doors will open to endless possibilities. So just do that. It's a box, and you put your note and you let it go, trusting. When does the idea of the God box come from? I also wondered, and the idea of the God box started when people began giving their worries, fears, and hopes to a higher power to handle. We are not exactly sure where it came from, but many spiritual leaders, psychologists, and regular people looking for comfort have embraced and spread this idea of the God box. Some well known people like Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer have supported similar practices too. Do you need to be religious and believe in God to have a God box? I don't think so. The God box is not actually a religious practice. People often ask me, do you want me to become religious? No, just stay who you are. You don't need to be religious or believe in God for this to work. If you don't have any spiritual beliefs, you can refer to a higher power, a power greater than yourself, instead of referring it to God. Of course, having a gut box is not an excuse to stop taking actions and doing nothing. So remember that point. You still need to do the actions. It is important to pause and journal your worries, problems, and questions in the gut box, but also to continue taking mindful actions toward your goals and solving your problems. If you're asking me, where do I get a gut box? You can use any empty box you have at home. This was one of my first God boxes. I designed it myself. You can decorate it whatever way you like. I have few of them. Some of my God boxes are silver with gold leaf or gold. I started with a box I had at home, and years later, I designed my own box. Look at this fancy, gorgeous God box. And I have some of them available in my gift shop. Please contact me and let me know if you made your own box or you're interested in buying one of my God boxes. As you begin your journey with the God box, remember that it is not a substitute for taking action or solving problem. Whether it is a simple shoebox or a sparkly decorated box, the act of surrendering your concerns to a higher power can bring about profound shifts in your consciousness, in your energy, in your emotional well being and spiritual growth. That's the reason that we do that. And may you find peace, clarity, and serenity as you trust in the wisdom of the universe to guide you on your journey. I am really excited for you. I think it's a wonderful practice. Start, try it, and see how it goes.